Good morning and welcome to my new channel. Yes, as independent hearsay, grooming gangs, this is child rape gangs, primarily Muslims, are at it throughout the country. I've seen it 20 odd years ago when I used to work nights from a gang of illegal Kurds. These were from the southern area, the border area of Turkey, and one of the younger guys used to brag about it constantly. For all you Muslim apologetics and you toffs and you charity workers and especially you teachers, Islam has never been peaceful. It has killed hundreds of millions, probably experts reckon about 250 million, and it's 1450 years of enslaving other peoples, enslaving Christians, Jews, Hindus, Sikhs. Very, very racist Islam. Yes, shocking, isn't it? The very thing they used to call other people to defend Islam is actually what Islam really is. As we see here, we have 12 definitions of dirty kuffar. What's a dirty kuffar? Well, it's plural for kafir, and kafir basically means the N-word, but it's referring to us. Yes, all you lecturers, you teachers, Mr. Trump, me, anyone that doesn't bow down to be one of Allah's slaves, one of Muhammad's slaves, believe in this fictitious ideology, yes, is a dirty kuffar. So I'll put links underneath. I don't know how long this video will stay on, probably not very long. I see they've got 12 different definitions, 12 different definitions of dirty kuffar. They've even done rap songs about it, which I might put a link underneath as well. Yes, and sadly, as we see here, Muhammad killed many people, around 3,500 people, a few by his own dagger. He slit the throats of older boys and Jewish leaders, one of whom, it says in the Quran, was wearing a pink ornate gown with sequins on it. Yeah, that's how detailed it is. That was at the massacre of Jews at Banu Qurayza. But they didn't care who they killed. Christians, agnostics, Jews. Yes, if it meant them taking their children and selling them as sex slaves, or being empowered to rape them, or do whatever they disgustingly wishes wanted to do with them. Yes, and as we see in the UK for many years, 90%, a shocking 90% of child rapists and general sex criminals have been Muslims. I'll put a link under this. The government refused to cooperate giving figures or statistics, but as we will see, as you can see here, it states quite clearly Muslims are approximately 5% of the UK population, but they are 90% of those convicted of these grooming gang crimes. It's not just the rape and the terminations and getting the girls addicted to heroin and Hypnol in putting coke so they can get their dirty way with them. It's the violence. It's terrible. I mean, there have been British girls killed. In Blackpool, there's at least 2 or 3 girls that the police were quite confident have been actually fed to tourists at Blackpool. Yes, to be put into kebab meat. They were caught joking about it on audio tape, on bugs. And if you care to sit down, as I have done, and compare some of these cases from Colchester, Coventry, Yeovil, Bristol, Rotherham's well-known one, Dewsbury, all over the country, Rochdale, and if they've not taken it off, you will be able to compare the names of these perverts with the real jailed suspects. And I can assure you, that it actually does correlate perfectly. Everyone, if it's not been taken off the internet to help cover up the Muslim crimes, every one of the guilty is on this list. On the Rochdale grooming scandal, the one they made the 3 Girls documentary about, the names are here. I might be able to find them just off the top of my head. Here we go. They are here on page 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Abdul Aziz. These are the names of the Rochdale rapists that were mentioned in the 3 Girls documentary. There they are, 2012, in the 5th month, and here are the names. Likewise, you can compare it with any of the rape cases in the UK, and as we see, there are hundreds of them. And if you look at an average page, let's say page 2 is an average page, all the ones with tick besides are Muslim origin surnames. This one isn't. Freddie, that sounds like an African. Barat, that sounds like a Estonian or Polish name. Chandresh, Robert Jackson, that's plainly an old English name. So you see, we're not being racist here, we're just pointing out the true statistics. Not all of these are Muslim men, but the vast majority are. 90% on these 200 pages of statistics. You know, there's pages and pages. So the next time you hear about this grooming going on, for heaven's sake, don't think it's just racism, or it's generally, you see, it's generally the middle class people, the middle classes, the people that work in the media get 150 grand a year, the people that work for school teachers getting 90,000 a year, doctors getting 100,000 a year. These are the people who are covering up Islam's gross crimes. And as we see, Muhammad himself was a mass murderer. He was a military leader, a warlord. Here we see the massacre of Banu Qurayza, the massacre of Khaybar. There's four of them mentioned, at least four mentioned in the Quran. So all these facts are made up by Islamophobes. They're actually straight out of the Quran. Muhammad besieged Banu Qurayza for 25 days. After he unconditionally surrendered, all the men were beheaded, the women and young girls were raped and sold into slavery. During Islam's 1450 years of gross, disgusting savagery, I'm very sad to say, but they did castrate millions and millions of mainly Africans, black men, black boys, who then could be sold at high price because they could be allowed to work on Islamic farms. Yeah, and the Islamic method of castration was to cut everything off, just to leave a hole. Yeah, and of course 7 out of 10 died from this screaming, disgusting procedure, but they were worth over 10 times as much as a normal slave, so it carried on for 1300 years because it was great business. Yes. I'm sorry to say, in the UK, USA and Canada today, thousands and thousands of perfect, innocent little girls are being held down, legs pulled apart, and are having their private parts sliced away, their clits dug out with knives in screaming agony to preserve their honour. Yeah, but they can't wait to get their little wrinklies and all our perfect white girls, as we see all over England. Okay, see you guys. Bye-bye.